seeing you tonight, okay, guys?
Desire, and that one is you. No other will do. I've lost all ambition for worldly acclaim.
Any government is to monopolize as much violence as possible in order for it to inflict it on as many citizens as possible.
I've been on this like weird anarchist arc for a few months now. This is playing by their rules, exactly how they are written.
Me. I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame.
You're watching the Dog and Chicken Show. Like, share, subscribe.
That's right. It's time for the Dog and Chicken Show. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the greatest show on the world. Am I
in
wrong,
all
Phyllis?
existence? No. It is the greatest show in all existence, the greatest production quality in all existence. This is Big Bucking Empire on YouTube and Facebook. Check him out. Check us out on Facebook because we're always being held down by the algorithm over there. And folks,
Damn
you
you,
know, like
Zuckerberg.
Chicken, before we get into all the festivities tonight, I just want to say right here at Big Bucking Empire, folks, I am jealous for you. All of you out within the sound of my voice, I am actually jealous for all of you because you get to see for the first time in weeks here on Big Bucket Empire, Phil KOE, Tony G, and Chicken finally together on one screen again, folks. So like I said, I'm jealous for all of you. I'm looking forward to this. But Chicken, Tony, how are we doing this week, gentlemen?
Fantastic. Excited to be back. Excited to be with both of you fine gentlemen. We got a stellar show lined up for you. Before we get into all that, I'm drinking me some Buffalo Trace. Of course, for you Facebook subscribers, I got my bottle LTD ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to talk about some fucking fun stuff that happened this week in the news. But before we get into that, of course, the man who makes cowboy hats sexy again, the one, the only.
I'm doing a service to everybody. The 14-time Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast champion, non-COPPA friendly, non-chill filtered, quadruple distilled, and yeah, like you said, just rocking it in pretty much every fucking area, as you can imagine, as you can see visibly with your very own eyes. Tony fucking G, like, share, subscribe. Follow me on TikTok at Tony the Rod 2.0. The OG3,
Yeah,
the
I
Thrizzy,
like that.
the triple threat, the triangle.
The Three Stooges of podcasting, if you will.
The greatest three-way on YouTube.
The Triforce of
live
stream.
But yes, folks,
Triforce of live stream.
it's also me, your king of extreme, Phil KOE, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that makes you the podcast cower. You can, of course, find me at KOE Nation on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. And this evening, I'm drinking on this bottle of Blanton's that I've been nursing. Some people think it's sacrilegious. I've even mixed it with a little bit of cola on the rocks, just as a nice little chill out drink. And oh my, it's marvelous because I'm trying to, drink down some of these bottles that are getting down beyond their final quarter because it's time. And I need to make some room on my shelves because so Tony, what
you
are
have a problem? Is
a buying problem? Yes,
I was about to say, like, I tend to pick them up a lot faster than I'm able to drink them because it's like baseball cards for me. But
maybe you weren't being a pussy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's good that I got the kind of friends that encourage me. Okay. Like,
it's all about the negative reinforcement.
Yes. So with that, T, what are you drinking?
A single barrel Heaven's Door pick, that wine beer spirits number 2, that caramel bomb, Heaven's Door straight bourbon whiskey, 123.36 proof, baby.
I think I finished that one off a couple weeks ago, actually.
Yeah, I love this one. I've been holding on to it.
I got like a pile of these handles, so I figure I'd like Oh, I gotta move.
You.
I gotta move. So I'm like, well, like if I drink some of these bigger ones, like these are hard to pack. And they make
I
the
bet.
boxes really
That's what
heavy.
He said.
Hey. So,
Giggity.
but Justin, producer Justin, I am saving one bottle of those just for you, buddy, because I know you want to handle a buffalo. So
You want to handle him.
and let's give a before we get into things, let's give a cheers to our producer Justin, killing it on the shorts and the reels.
Hey.
Yeah, he's been rocking it for us in the background, getting shit pulled up, and we appreciate you, sir. So cheers to Yank, man.
You know, I do feel he could maybe feature
Hell yeah.
your King of Extreme, Phil KOE, a little more heavily in
God.
those shorts. But other than that, you know, just fucking stellar job.
Well, maybe if your content was better, Phil.
Stellar job, Justin. Stellar job.
You know,
Indeed.
Jealousy's an ugly thing, folks. It really is. But yes, so folks, here at
We're not
Big
even
Bucket
talking
Empire,
about anything tonight. We're just cracking
Nope.
jokes. That's it.
Nope,
That's
we're
all we're
just
doing.
gonna
Hey,
rip
you know,
on each
sometimes
other.
that's fine.
Remember the 6 of Pretender?
Pretender?
A possible, very real treasonous plot. I can think of no reason why this media treason should ever be forgot.
Well done.
That
Well
was
done.
beautiful. I love that.
That was nice.
Good
So,
shit.
But we'll get to that a little later. That's just a little teaser,
God, that's
for what's coming. But yes, gentlemen.
I think we should kick it off with the cartel story because that one's kind of new.
There we go.
Okay.
It's a good ice breaking story that everybody's kind of going like, what the hell's going on? You guys down with that?
Yeah. No. I
Chicken.
really like caramel myself. I'm a big fan.
Chicken, is it all right if
Delicious.
this time I just give my thoughts and bury the lead?
Here we go again.
There.
You rapscallion ne'er-do-wells. Mutgate is real. Okay, like this is awful.
Phileas.
Oh, I mean,
Phileas.
is he wanting to mute me for 5 minutes?
I mean,
Well-
you can do that.
He can do that with his stars.
Instead of a drink. Well,
He
yeah.
can make. Yep. I mean,
And there's all kinds of possibilities when you
there's
enter the Big
all
Bucket
kinds
Empire.
of possibilities here at Big Bucket Empire, and like I know, Grow the Farm Up really wishes that he had that ability in real life.
Oh my god! I just finally got a notification for Facebook.
Yeah. Hey, dude,
Hey!
mine worked tonight too.
That's amazing.
By
I mean, it's only 10 minutes late. Instead
Cracky.
of not at all.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
folks, those of you who follow us on Facebook, I'm just going to throw this out there now. You've got to make sure you're subscribed. If you watch the show on Facebook, make sure you're subscribed to Big Bucket Empire on Facebook because we post the event page, and the event page is apparently the only way when we go live that you can get notified. We post the event, that's the live stream, obviously. You go to the event, you see that notification pop up, hey, we've posted an event. Go to the event, click get notified, because apparently Facebook ain't going to tell you dick if you don't do that. So it sucks, but it is what it is. That's how we got to do it. I
But yes,
apologize for the
folks.
extra inconvenience.
Here
Such
in
is
this
life.
crazy, crazy journey at Big Bucket Empire with Phil KOE and Chicken 2 and Tony G. The guests are wide. Phil's basically a movie star. Lynn Yank and Brendan here at Big Bucket Empire. Yes.
All right,
yes, thank
so
you,
we're doing
thank you.
variety.
I
hour
got
tonight.
that.
Phil's
I
had
got
way
that
too
when
much time in the fucking truck today.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
what
I've been in the
hell?
semi for the last like 3 days.
Oh,
And so in
man.
my mind, I've come up with like theme songs for quite a bit of shows.
Oh wow. Your singing was so bad. Tyler said, fuck giving Phil a drink. He wants to mute you for 5 minutes.
Ah, your booze mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
I don't actually. Where are you
I haven't
seeing
seen
this?
I'm
It's
not
in the
seeing it.
there, here. Nope.
Nope, mute,
Still
Phil.
mute.
All right, 5 minutes mute. I'm
What?
gonna
Mine?
hit
Oh,
the,
there we go. Shit's finally popping up on my end. Holy shit. I'm
All right.
all laggy
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
still
comments.
not-
Starting
getting
you
it.
now, Phil. All right. The 5 minute timer has started for Phil. God. I just have so many nice things to say about Phil right now. And the fact that he mixed his goddamn Blantons with Coke, he needs kicked in the dick.
Yeah. Actually, I'm surprised he doesn't like punch himself in the dick because that's just fucking rude.
Wait,
Why would you do that?
He just texted me. Oh, he did. He just texted me and officially said he is promising he is voting for Joe Biden secretly. Every time we have him on the show, and it's not because he likes Joe Biden. It's because he wants Kamala to stay in office and have a chance to become president.
Well, see, that was the thing Phil was telling me the other day. It was like he's like, I really, really hope that Joe will step down at least 6 months before his term is up. That way we can get a sneaky peek at President Kamala, because he's really, really hoping for it. Like, he secretly wrote her in the last election too.
Yeah, and well, he's been talking to Tom Foolery on the side, and both of them want Kamala to bring Nancy Pelosi in as the vice president.
Oh yeah,
that's eventually happened.
Phil has an entire secret page on Facebook, like Nancy supporters are us. He's been he's getting the petition signed. Bring her back. He wants her back. Cannot get enough of that drunk, slag-eyed, fucking old whore bag. But
and I also, you remember he used to wear an eye patch way back in the day on RWP. Yes. So he wants to bring that back because he loves Dan Crenshaw so much.
True. That's true. Oh, you know what, though? On the inside of that eye patch, it wasn't just a black eye patch. There's a picture of Nancy Pelosi in there.
I believe it. I
heard on KOE Nation, Joy Behar is going to be making an appearance real soon. Like, he's real excited about it.
Cody says
after that.
Cody said when he worked with Phil, he always told me about non-GMO planting was the best way.
Oh, man. Digging fucking heels. Wow.
That's awesome. KO Amanda, we're not being harsh. We might be trolls, but well, this is all stuff that Phil's told us personally.
You just are. Bam. That's what. Yeah. Throwing digs all over the place.
And I know we're going to talk about January 6th later. Phil was so upset that he did not have the opportunity to be on the commission because he had so much he needed to say about how bad January 6th was, and he thinks he could have been the one that put Trump under. He could have done it. He could have moved that last rock and finally finished the job. You know, the day is coming. You know, it's the end is nigh. You know, we heard this forever. Phil had the smoking gun, and they wouldn't listen to him.
I know he had a whole filing cabinet of smoking gun documents, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. He pussed out at the last second, or just conflicting days.
Well, no,
he thought it was the 7th, and
he wanted to give Kissinger. He loves Kissinger so much, and he loves. Oh God, that one got him.
I heard him and Merrick Gartland are going on a vacation here real soon.
Okay, here's what really happened on the January 6th thing is Liz Cheney sent him a text and said, I got this, trust me. And he goes, of course Liz Cheney has this. Why wouldn't Liz Cheney have this? You are like the God Queen of gods. Like
Liz Cheney was his inspiration today on International Women's Day.
She should have got all the awards for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she got all of Phil's awards.
Yeah. Sure. Phil gave her a couple belts and had a couple of wet dreams. And...
he'd give her a couple belts right up next to his headboard, if you know what I mean. Him and Liz. Phil and Liz Cheney sitting in a tree. Pegging. That spells pegging, for those of you who can't spell.
Oh, and did you hear Phil started a new podcast with Adam Schiff?
Oh, really? Is that going to be a good one?
Yeah, it's like the truth or fiction show or something.
Oh, no, I heard about that. That's Phil, KOE, and Adam Schiff. But Phil just lets Adam Schiff kick him around for an hour.
Yeah, it's kind of like Hannity and Combs back in the day, but in reverse. It's great.
Yeah. He gets on there. Hey, not all conservatives are like that.
Oh, God, Amanda, I can't even read that. That just made my head hurt.
We got about 15 seconds of this left. Phil drinks Blanton's with Coke. I mean, that's really about the biggest insult I can hear.
Oh, my God. Yeah, Cody's right. He's jealous he didn't get to kiss Biden's wife.
Fact. Oh, he's kissed her.
Yeah, probably a few
between
times.
The cheeks. And Phil's back.
There's time. Phil is back. I'll unmute him. There we go.
Oh, fuck fuck you on the Kissinger thing, okay? The rest of it I can even let
Second
go.
I said that,
But
like I saw
fuck
his
you on the
face.
Kissinger shit, motherfucker. And also, yeah, no. I have somebody that wishes they were Adam Schiff that I do a podcast with. Yeah,
I thought you'd like that.
like my God. And no, like, yeah, on Truth and Fiction, which you can find Truth and Fiction Pod on YouTube. I do it is Hannity and Combs, where Ty is the Combs to my Hannity, and it's beautiful. But God almighty, fuck you guys. Have you guys been holstering this for a minute? Like, I'm like, you fuckers have
No, that was on the
whole
fly.
5
That was
minutes
off the fly.
to just
We haven't
fucking
had 5 minutes of Phil silence on this show
It's
in
been a
months.
while.
that was painful. Usually, even the shows I don't appear on, for somehow I'm not fully silent. So this is
That was fun. We haven't
That
got
was
to do
worth
that
it.
in so long.
fuck you. That was not fun
You
at
know,
all.
the funny thing is,
awful.
I could do that too.
Oh, so can I.
I'll hold on to that. I'll keep that pocketed.
How much for another 5 minutes? Cody, all you have to do is be a paid subscriber on the Facebook page, so
Yeah,
you
that's
can
really all there is
sign
to it.
up and yeah, definitely be part of it. Looks like Adam Schiff brings the truth.
Yeah,
Says yeah. That's what Phil told me, at least. Grow the farm
fuck
up.
you.
Grow the farm up says Adam Schiff looks like this little biatch tuberculosis D. What am I hearing?
Hey, what do you know? What am I
Trouble in the
hearing?
Force.
A
Wait, can we go back
disturbance.
to? Can we go back to this real quick?
Now that's the problem. The
Yeah.
Ty is February's
I'm
blank.
sorry.
Hey,
Get it?
Amanda.
Yay.
Amanda,
Well,
guess what?
unfortunately,
It's
there's-
March.
You can only have 12 groups that get a month.
Like,
So like that's
Here's the thing, like I remember. I'm sure you guys have seen the clip a million times. I remember watching it live on 60 Minutes when Morgan Freeman, like 15 years ago, said, "I don't even want a Black History Month. I think it's ridiculous. Why? When do they celebrate Jewish month, a white month? Well, they don't. Do you want one? Well, no. Exactly. I don't either. Hey,
Yeah.
But Amanda,
But
is
Andy
demanding
Dufresne
a whole
had to
month,
crawl through all the mud just to have Women's Day.
an entire month. Now, let me ask you, Amanda, what did you do today specifically to empower women?
Don't.
No, I want to know.
Don't encourage
I
her.
want to know,
Oh, man.
chicken. I want
I
to
have
know.
a feeling this could go but first I want to say, Tiberius, you sensed a disturbance in the Force. I don't know how. I mean, being so moderate, though, at most you're a gray Jedi. So I mean, just you're so down the middle there. You're just a gray Jedi, and I don't know how the Force really
Nothing
speaks to
wrong
you.
with being a great Jedi, Phil.
Tony, you moderate motherfucker. You don't just. Oh God.
Yeah, well, at least I'll let
go-
Adam Schiff kick me around.
Jesus God. Actually, Truth and Fiction, Ty and I are going to be doing another episode here real soon, and where you're going to see Hannity kick around Combs.
A fucking tray with the cup. She made all the sandwiches. Thanks, Amanda. Thanks,
Made 'em
Amanda.
all.
Wow.
Made him all.
Grow the farm up.
Awesome.
Tiberius is literally the worst Star Trek name in history. They literally talk about how horrible the name is in the movie. That's why James T. Kirk middle name Tiberius is that. Oh wow. Because
Yeah.
James T. Kirk, his middle name is Tiberius. So Ty, you're either named after a general or James T. Kirk. I would brag about both of those things at parties.
Yes, I would. All right, let's get into tonight's
Let's do a
first story.
story.
That was 20 minutes of nonsense, but we do have stories
That
for you
was
guys
20
tonight.
minutes of beautiful.
It
All
was
right.
fun. It was
Chicken,
fun.
I
Fun.
won't even bury the lead here. I will give you about 20 seconds of silence.
Okay.
Nice.
Mexican
Wow.
cartel delivers kidnappers, 5 bound men, and an apology.
Thank
Let's
God.
go ahead and scroll down. Yeah, thank God. Mexico City, the police in Mexico border city of Matamoros early Thursday discovered 5 men bound with zip ties in a truck near the intersection where 4 Americans were kidnapped last week, with a note claiming to be from a Gulf cartel faction saying it wanted to hand over those behind the abductions, authorities reported. There was no official confirmation that the 5 men who were found alive were indeed behind Friday's brazen attack, which left the 2 Americans dead. But Mexican crime groups leave notes or banners describing their actions or blaming their rivals in Macareb for Forum of Public Relations and Cartels have in the past turned over gunmen to those whose actions brought on the wrath of Mexican or U.S. officials. The attack has become a flashpoint in the U.S.-Mexican relations. Republican lawmakers have demanded the Biden administration declare Mexican cartels to be terrorist groups. Some have called for U.S. military intervention. Thoughts, fellas?
So,
Well, I've been asked to come onto a panel over the weekend. I might not make it, just depending on personal schedule, where they're going to talk about Lindsey Graham is introducing a bill to basically say, let's invade Mexico and take it over. And I'm just like, no.
For the wrong reasons.
Well, I mean, for all the reasons that you shouldn't do that. Like, it's kind of why Trump was like, we're building the wall. And then the minute Biden got power, he's like, I guess I'll build the wall. I'll just keep building that wall. Because whether anybody likes to admit it or not, Mexico is a failed narco state. In 2019, the Mexican government was routed in open battle by the Mexican cartels. Okay. And in the last battle they had not too long ago, the outcome was a little fuzzy. So to me, you don't really have a functioning government in Mexico. What you have is officials that say things that the cartels want them to say. And so the fact that we got anybody back from this particular exchange is kind of amazing, because the thing that sets the Mexican cartels apart from all the other drug cartels and gangs is, in terms of violence, they just want it more. Like, there's a reason why you don't hear about the Bloods and Crips too much anymore.
Well, no,
because the Mexican drug gang shot them all. Okay, like, that's why. Like, that shit happened when we were in college, guys. And so that's
so the story essentially boils down to like 5 people that are in the game. Sometimes the game catches up to you, and you know that when you start playing the game. And if you don't know what I'm talking about by saying the game, keep living in fantasy world, folks, because this is just life. I'm sorry. It's just
play the game.
It's no, god damn it, Phil.
Yeah, some reason I knew Phil was going to go there, but
damn it.
No, but I don't know. With me, when I like, the first story comes through, there was dead. It was 2 of them that died, 2 of them survived, and supposed mistaken identity, and then this happens, and now this probably happens.
Identity.
Yeah. Well, today's story where there are 5 men bound and gagged and released, this probably happens way more often than any of us know. Now, the killing and abduction. Yeah, the killing and abduction, that was just so egregious. That's why it made the news. And now the spotlight's kind of on the border again. And so, depending if you're a lefty that doesn't want Biden to run, you're going to push this narrative. And if you're a righty, this is a really easy campaign. Like, that's what made Trump win in 2016 was the build the wall. It was immigration. Like, that was the biggest. It was the biggest thing that got him elected. And so now all the Republicans are like, oh my God, we just got handed everything on a silver platter. You really think they're going to go over and fucking fight the cartel? Hell no. This is posturing. This is fear mongering. This is what Republicans do best. They're like, oh my God, I just got free donation money for the next 2 years. We got so many super PACs getting loaded up for the 2024 election. Fuck yeah. Come on, cartel. They're excited.
Here's the problem with going to war with the cartel. The United States is going to lose the first fight, and it's going to be really embarrassing. And then we're going to go way overboard retaliating, and it's going to be really, really ugly. And that's probably the last thing we really want right now, considering all of the other tensions given with other countries that aren't directly connected to us on land.
Well, most of our crime economy comes from, one, the laws that we pass here that make it entice the cartel to get shit across the border. So like there's a big economy. Like that cartel can't survive without our laws, and our laws never seem like they have a purpose without the drug cartels. So like there is a relationship there, like behind the scenes that nobody wants to talk about, and we need each other. So guys, just kiss, make up, cartel America, make up, make some money, start making some better drugs, and just keep making shit illegal. That's what's gonna happen.
And you and me, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you.
Grow the farm up. It's always best to just apologize and swap back when you find out you are accidentally trafficking the wrong illegal person across some board.
Not feds, right?
Yep. And guys, I'm being like Ty is begging me to send him a link, so I'm gonna let you guys be the final decision on that one. Some place called Sinaloa just runs it all. ... allegedly. Winky face. Lindsey Graham has my full support to invade Mexico if he's willing to make that's the thing.
I kind of like that. I like that.
Graham is
you know what? I will give Lindsey Graham 100 rounds of ammunition if he goes. Like I'll help fund some of this. I'll help protect Lindsey Graham because I care.
Rounds. Nice. Okay.
I care.
100 rounds.
Well, it's like I said with Ty the last time we were talking about Ukraine. I said, you know what? It's not really dangerous to be pro-war when you're past 29 years old.
Yeah.
It really ain't all that dangerous to advocate for war once you make it. Like it is when you're like 21. Like a kid that's pro-war at 21, you should probably listen to that kid, okay? Like that kid's probably, okay, if you're willing to go do it.
Yeah,
but gentlemen, I will let you two be the final decider on the Tiberius ticket.
Yeah, I don't know. Tiberius gets hours and hours and hours of streaming. We get like 2 hours a week. Like, it's the first time we get with each other in a long time. I don't know if I want to hear Adam Schiff's take tonight.
Ouch. Okay. Hang out for
Love
January
you, tuberculosis
6th.
D.
Hang out for January 6th. I think I can convince him.
Okay.
Right. So drug cartels. I gave my 2 cents. Like this is the nothing burger. It's a fundraiser tactic in the long run. That's all this is.
Nobody's gonna go to war with the fucking cartel. Why?
It sounds fun.
Yeah, it sounds like
it'll make a really cool Call of Duty game.
Oh, it'd be great with Denzel Washington, fucking Mark Wahlberg in there, maybe throw in Jason Statham. Oh, it'd be a great movie. It's not gonna happen, folks. This is so fucking stupid. Anybody who can actually stand at a podium or a press conference or anything the like with a straight face and say, we need to definitely take the charge to cartel. Like, I'm sorry. Forget any chance you ever had of voting for that person. And if you still do, you're a fucking idiot.
Well, I mean, the problem is Mexico needs the kind of dictator to take power that's not going to be able to ever take power in Mexico. Because the thing is, like, I remember people say, well, this guy's really popular. That person's really popular. And, they've got a lot of support. Yeah, that don't make it bulletproof. Okay? There ain't nobody that's bulletproof. Okay? And that's the big problem. Now, to me, I think in terms of nothing burger stories, I kind of get it. But, like, I remember when we heard about the 4 Americans that were kidnapped, then 2 of them come back alive. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm guessing all 4 of them were connected with somebody in our government. And I got to say, being on your knees, hands behind your head with a 9mm pointed at your head in the middle of the Mexican desert, that's a hell of a time to suddenly grow a conscience or to become somewhat uncooperative. I got to say, it's like, sir or senor, I am listening to whatever it is that you're saying right now. And I will be.
You're making a lot of good points right now. From your perspective.
I'm really seeing it from your perspective, looking down that 9mm barrel. I do see it your way, and I'm going to do this. This is good negotiating tactics, sir. I got to say, that's a hell of a time to get no, fuck you. I'm gonna call Johnny Law on you. Like, yeah, that's not a good.
I'll die with my morals. Yep.
Right.
You sure will.
Have fun with that.
It's kind of like, and I've always believed this, the Ferengi rules of acquisition. Dignity and an empty sack is worth the sack. Rule 109, which is, it's kind of like my grandpa's advice. How much money has your pride ever made you? Now think about how much money your pride's cost you over your life.
A lot.
Put those two numbers on a balance sheet against each other. Yeah. 10 months ago, I said I would live to see the U.S. invade Mexico again. I was laughed at, and now we have a resolution. Okay, we have a Lindsey Graham-olution. Okay? He was also the guy that said, we're going to federally ban abortion, and all the Republican Party went, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, Lindsey. Okay? You keep talking, we're going to out you to your mom. Okay, you shut the fuck up. Okay, we have kept this secret for you for fucking 30 goddamn years. But if you fucking do that shit, all bets are off. And so, yeah, that's that. I think that's close to it. I don't think we're gonna see an actual invasion.
No.
What's there to invade?
Like,
okay, you can't tell me.
There's
like,
some pretty decent oil and silver mines. It's actually got a lot better ag base than you would think, considering how much of the land is arid desert. But
I say we just buy it.
No.
You know what? At that point, the cartels are listening, chicken.
Right?
It's like, okay, wait, whoa. Like at first they're like, all right, they're bringing their money. Hey, wait, what if we just buy it? And they're like, we're listening.
Right?
How much information on the cartel, the inner workings, their whereabouts, the names, etc., etc. How much of that do you think the U.S. intelligence agencies have access to?
They pretty much know whoever.
Okay, so if that's true,
you'd think.
If that's the case, the U.S. intelligence agencies know who's in the cartel, what they're doing, what they're up to, where they're at.
I don't know. We couldn't find Osama bin Laden for fucking ever.
It's a little different in Mexico. Who's spending $8,000 a night on Cristal?
If the U.S. intelligence agencies have their finger on the pulse of what the cartel's doing, who they are, where they are, etc., why are they still operating? Because if we're going to go in guns a-blazing and take them out like these people are suggesting,
Tony,
why wouldn't we do that?
Anything that serves its intended purpose will be allowed to continue.
There you go. So no, we're not going to invade Mexico because we're not invading Mexico. It'd be invading the cartel. And we're not going to do that either. So no, that's not happening. It's just not happening.
The Mexican cartel would overtake the Mexican government before we would ever.
Yes.
And there would have to be some like crazy fucking coup down there. Some crazy shit goes down.
They would have to have like Brittany Griner, held up in a cell for us.
We're gonna attack we'll attack Canada before we attack Mexico. Yeah. That's how unlikely all of this is.
Buildings lately? No. We will get to that a little later, zombie Batman. Remember the question, 6 of Pretender. But yeah, so. Mexico, it's unfortunate. Like that place should be a paradise. Okay, where it is, but its politics is just a basket case. And I mean,
if the FBI wouldn't have, introduced crack, it'd probably be a beautiful place today.
Well, do you think they would at least for like International Women's Day? Do you think they would have actually
this age poor?
Ty, I say that at least 3 times an episode. Okay, so I'm
you got to go back and watch our original coronavirus episode before COVID hit, like a month before COVID hit.
No, we were spot on.
We were spot on. Yeah,
we were like,
turns out,
it's not like it's gonna be the end of the world or nothing. And then
you know what? Revisionist history, going back and watching it again, I bet we're actually a lot closer now than we thought we were a year ago.
Tiberius just likes to see tanks driving on his news clips. Apparently,
tanks are kick-ass.
I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I played with tanks.
Phil, is that who you gave your eye patch to, Tiberius?
God, Jesus. Actually, Ty, you should wear an eye patch and just be Dan Crenshaw because you can pull the look off enough and just that's your impression. You just got to be.
D.
Your comments remind me of him.
Stands for Dan.
Yeah, Tiberius
my
Dan
God.
Crenshaw.
Tiberius Dan Crenshaw. Like,
I
oh,
want
wow.
red flag laws and I want tanks on every corner of Mexico.
Yeah, God.
And some stock tips.
Somewhere.
Yeah, and Nancy, stop hiding all them stock tips. I need to make some money too.
I was about to say somewhere a military industrial complex CEO just got hard right.
Of course you do. Of fucking
Damn.
course you do. I
I
was
have an
joking,
iPad that-
but okay.
Yard.
I just got him. That's fair.
Tiberius like, yep, I just got. Yep,
What, you
that's
just now got one? You should have
Just
had
now?
one for the last 35 minutes.
Yep.
Well.
Yep. So the military industrial complex, and Ty's like, yeah, I need to wear an eye patch from now on. That's like his evil. That's like his alter. Oh, everybody take a drink. Everybody drink.
What? For what? Oh, yep, kiddo. Awesome. Just refreshing my drink there. I
Well,
don't know
that's
how
a
to
perfect
seg-
transition point.
Well, I don't know how to transition to this next one, but International Women's Day. So we have to discuss. There's an award given out every year, and we all know who the recipient of the International Women's Day Courage Award goes to, right?
Is that trophy in the shape of a wiener?
Oh, son of a biscuit.
Phil Jen. No, I don't believe it is.
Why not?
By the
Well,
way,
it probably
Trey,
should be.
Which gin? Brickway Nebraska gin or Indoggo Snoop Dogg gin? It's the only gins I got left. I already finished off Beefeater last week.
Boy, that's sad. That's sad.
That is sad.
That was
Um,
painful, is what that was.
So anyway, our next story, if you couldn't guess, Joe Biden gives International Women of Courage Award to a transgender official. I'll go ahead and scroll this one down. Of course, First Lady Jill Biden, International Courage, where he said that during the ceremony held at the White House Wednesday, Biden and Secretary of State Anthony Blinken honored Alba Ruda, a biological male who identifies as a transgender woman, with the award. Well, again, I was mentioning earlier, like nobody knows anybody who's done these. I read through some of the people that's gotten this award, and like very deservingly. Like there was a journalist that was like exposing gender related like atrocities in Africa that got the award. There was another one that was like the first Malaysian or Mongolian like female general to fight in battle. Like all of them up until now.
Don't forget about that fearless pioneer of women's rights who refused to pay her rent.
Yeah,
I gotta say, Ty, you're talking about things that aren't going to age well.
No, Ty, we're not talking about women. You're totally missed the headline of this story. So let's keep scrolling.
Thank you for that.
Now I gotta
Justin,
hang on. I gotta take
I just want to show like what she did to deserve this award. If we can scroll down just a little bit, because like we had some great ones. I'm trying to see here. So in acknowledging her activism, the State Department noted the official actively campaigned to change the name of the Women's National Conference to a Plurination Conference of Women and Lesbian, Crossdresser, Transgender, Bisexual, Intersex, and Non-Binary persons to include diverse, descendant, and racialized identities. You're welcome, folks.
So she changed a name?
Well, no, she's been working really, really hard out of Argentina to push basically identitarianism. That's what she got an award for, basically.
Identification. Self-identification.
Democrats like former
There are
men
2
more than
kids
men.
and a cat in my office. Mother
Good luck, T. Good luck.
yeah.
Well, I'll have another drink to that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Proving that men are better than women, even at being women. Insert that joke. Facebook slapped me on. Yeah. Sucks to be a cuck.
Jesus.
Wait, what? A trans person got something they didn't deserve? Color me shocked.
Oh boy. Now, gentlemen, give me the full screen here. The world is a crazy, mixed up, over the upside down place. But folks, there's one thing that you can count on, and that is the Big Buckin' Empire Gin Toast. To fight and stealing and drinking. If you're going to fight, may it be for a friend. If you're going to steal, may it be a lover's heart. And if you're going to drink, by God, I hope it's with me.
Yeah. He loves that just as much as Kissinger.
Fuck you. Okay. That Kissinger shit was over the line, man. Wow.
So yeah,
I think it was right on.
So biological man wins International Women's
Like
Day.
saying
So
your favorite president was George W. Bush, chicken.
oh, hey.
Phil, your favorite president was George W. Bush at one time.
Yeah, well,
No, the last one we had in office was pretty fucking awesome.
Phil's backed off of that a little bit.
Oh yeah. Like, no, it's just the Gipper, just good old Ronnie Reagan.
I think Phil loved George W. Bush because I hated him, and it made him warm and fuzzy inside.
Your hatred for him did make me warm and fuzzy on the inside, kind of like an unnecessary gin shot. Like I gotta say, like that's.
Ty loves Kissinger enough for us all.
I don't doubt that actually.
Yeah.
Now it's funny is on our death pools last year, everybody had Kissinger.
Yep.
This year, nobody's got Kissinger. I don't think any of us even believe he's like he must be immortal. Like I put him on my list, but I noticed like not even half the same amount of people that had him on last year had him this year. So it's like, man, people are just not counting on Kissinger.
Yeah. So anyway, like here's I guess this what the transgender thing like to me this story's stupid. It's just another like calling out the absurdity of it all. Like whatever, like everybody's trying to get these ESG points and all this stupid shit. But I guess what it comes back to, what the lefties want to go after and talk about is like when you had what's that dude from the Daily Wire, Michael Knowles. He was at CPAC and he pretty much said like fuck all transgenders evil, blah blah blah. Like he went hard in the paint on it, probably went way too far, and like went a little crazy. Like whatever, you dress how you want to, you tuck your dick, chop it off, I don't give a shit. Like you do you, boo. But like like the cultural, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, do it. But like the cultural part of where you come out and say I don't want these people to exist and I find them evil. That's nobody name somebody in like historical terms that made it with any type of attitude like that. Like they always lose, right?
Democrats
Almost
have been doing pretty good.
Yeah, lately.
Calling everybody that disagrees with them evil. Like it's sadly enough like that. Like, and it's unfortunate. Like, because I had an exchange about this earlier today, actually in Ty's Discord, where it's like, there's some folks that they just have this really weird comic book villain version of their political opposition. Like the right did it in the 90s, and now the left is doing it today. And it's weirdly enough, it's the kids of the people of the right who did it in the 90s who are doing it the hardest. So they're kind of their own form of woke leftist firebrand preacher.
Oh shit!
It's kind of fascinating.
Zombie, I'll fix it. Give me a minute. I'll fix it.
Where
you guys keep going?
Oh God. Okay, we got to get that representation.
I'm gonna fix it.
It's all
You
the
guys
right.
I, for one,
All the
I'm
kids
just
are in
glad. I'm just glad that men took back International Women's Day. It's about damn time, frankly. We stole that shit back.
Let's show these girls how to be women.
Men.
Like so, like I wonder where the limit is going to be on this, because there is going to be some point where there's going to be pushback. Now, it's fascinating is the younger generation.
There's no limit.
No, there actually is.
There we go.
And it's Ollie London.
Tony, bite your head.
Hey,
there we go.
When
just for Zombie Batman.
When Ollie London said that he was a 20-something Korean rather than a 30-something white dude from London. Like I remember like everybody, even like my kiddo, like when I asked her about it, it's like, so what do you think about it? She's like, no, that's nonsense. So it's like, okay, there is a limit here somewhere. And so at least
I'm sorry.
He just did like a 2-hour long interview with Tim Pool a couple weeks ago. I didn't watch the whole thing, but
I
pretty
saw
much
the thumbnail.
Yeah, he explained like, I was really confused and everybody was telling me to do this. And I just kept doing it until one day I was like, I'm not happy. And I keep doing things that make it worse. I should stop doing this stuff. So good on him. He came out of it.
You know what? That's good. I'm glad that like
Now he's just a guy from London again.
Everybody has their own identity crisis at some point in their life. Some go a little further than others. Like I love in South Park when Randy got a divorce. For a little while, he legally changed his name to Stevie Ray Vaughan. I was
Stevie
like, yeah,
Ray Vaughan.
Yeah, like that's
no. See, this is Stevie Ray Vaughan. He just gets up there and shits his britches.
But yeah, like because most baby boomer guys who go through divorce, for about like 6 weeks, they think they're Stevie Ray Vaughan. Grow the farm up. I mix salted caramel Crown Royal with chocolate milk 50-50. I think I discovered a drink I'm going to respectfully name the Mud.
That
nice.
sounds delightful.
Yeah, I was about to say, I hate to say that sounds actually pretty good. And it'll coat your stomach, so you'll be in good shape. Zombie Batman. Imagine being such a pathetic man that you need to identify as just to win something. Okay. All right. Damn. You know,
it's not even setting your bar of expectations low. That's borrowing somebody else's who's much more capable than you.
Well, like South Park, I love what they did, and it is an argumentum ad absurdum, where you take an argument to its most absurd point, but it does demonstrate the point quite well. When they did the Macho Man Randy Savage strongman, I don't want to get into the details of my transition, but I'm gonna crush and destroy all the women in this competition. And that's argumentative ad absurdum. But it does demonstrate the point at some, because like Joe Rogan one time said, if Brock Lesnar has self-identified as a woman, she would beat the fuck out of everyone for the rest of her fucking life. Just for the rest of her life. Boom, boom, boom. Like it would just be over. Like, and so like, especially when it comes to the contact sports like that, there can be differences. I'm sorry. Because when it comes like boxing, I was taught size does matter. Okay. Like when you push off the ground, the bigger you are, the more force you can actually achieve in boxing. And so it's just a matter of weight, mass, and physics. And so people who are smaller,
stop using science. We don't believe in science. Remember, all the lefties told us we don't believe in science, so you can't use that.
You're not the science.
Well, apparently neither is Fauci either.
Well, no, he just dictates the science. He writes letters ahead of his decisions to prove his decisions are.
People used to call us far right, but really they just need to call us so far right about everything. That's the only claim of right I accept is correct. Well, as you should.
It has nothing to do with political leaning. It's just correct. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So and
I'm correct leaning all the time. Yes.
Yes. Now this one, it does kind of fascinate me that, like, of course, Biden is going to be the first person to do this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I'm sorry, Trump was not going to be the one to break this ground. Okay. Like,
no.
Am I saying something that's out of bounds there, guys?
No.
So like, to me, this is all part of, do you remember, have you guys
could you imagine if Kamala was president like you want? How many groundbreaking decisions she would come up with?
You guys have both seen the show The Boys, right?
Yeah, good show.
Okay. There's the scene where Homelander goes to see the blind kid. Okay. And the secretary's like, you know what? Oh my goodness, we could have a differently abled member of the Seven. Inclusion is very big with the 18 to 34 demographic right now. And so like, I just feel like a conversation almost exactly like that went down before that award was given. Like it wasn't a superhero and it wasn't Homelander, but a conversation pretty close to that scene went down.
Ah!
Oh!
That scared the shit out of me.
Fisted by a rainbow.
Yeah, sorry, no. And if he pulls a half and half out of nowhere. Spoiler, Fauci is a flat earther. Well, that makes a little bit more sense.
Fauci all the way down.
Yeah, it's Fauci
It's
all the
my
way down. I love
science
that.
all the way
All the way
down.
down.
When Tony goes all Biden, he needs to put on a dress as well. Joe Trans Biden.
Oh,
Ooh,
God.
I don't know what you're talking about. Tony doesn't dress up as anything.
Yeah, what? No.
Tony, you seen it?
Yeah, I see.
Is Trump electable to Tony G and Chicken Not KOE? Well, let me tell you something. What I think about this Grow the Farm Up. First, Tony, you gotta go, Chuck.
Oh, you got the fucking machine.
The machine. Ziggy Zaggy, Ziggy Zaggy, oi, oi, oi. Ziggy Zaggy, Jesus.
I wasn't ready for that. I didn't know you had that ready and
Wow. Tony,
you were excited to take a fucking beer jug, weren't you?
you're like your
Ready to
stomach
rock.
must like your stomach just has to be like a fermentation tank. By the
It
end
feels
of it.
amazing.
Yeah, I was about to say mixing whiskey.
That is impressive. I
Yeah,
agree.
that's pretty fast. That like I'm yeah.
Dude, if that evil bitch becomes president, I'll nuke you bastards myself. Imagine the first woman president being her. I know, right?
You know, it's pretty funny. Like Dave
Joe
Chappelle,
Biden's done a good job of setting women back about 10 years. Like, imagine what Kamala would do.
Well, like I was just thinking about that. Like today, if like Hillary had been elected, like Dave Chappelle made the joke, like they were gonna make coins out of this bitch.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the first female president, they are going to absolutely make coins out of. And like it's gonna be some slave owning president that she's going to replace. Okay, like I don't know which one. Take your pick though.
Get rid of Lincoln.
No, they won't replace Lincoln.
I know they won't, but they need to.
Oh,
Jesus
God.
Christ. What in the fuck is that?
It's
I'm on the right track, baby. I was born.
so anyway, back to Grow the Farm Up's comment. Is Trump electable to Chicken and Tony G?
Let me tell you what I think. Oh,
I think he's electable, but I don't think he will beat Joe Biden.
I think he is electable. Yes, but only if he goes up against Biden.
And
I
he's
think
gonna
this is
need-
twofold. I think this
two
is twofold.
different analyses.
I think it's
Interesting.
twofold though.
Mm.
Don't get me wrong. I think the only person that can beat Biden is
Is
anybody. And I think the only person that can beat Trump is Biden. So
Trump.
Yeah, they kind of go hand in hand. Like I don't like there are so many candidates that can easily beat Biden because it just has to fucking happen.
DeSantis would destroy Biden, in my
I
opinion.
don't see
I don't
other-
want DeSantis, though. I do not want DeSantis.
I don't see any other
All these people
Democrat-
fucking jumping on the DeSantis bandwagon. That guy is going to become one of the most authoritarian asshole fucking Republican presidents. You remember all the bad shit you heard about Republicans back in the day? That is Ron DeSantis.
Oh, it's coming in spades with old Ronnie.
It's
I think
gonna
the-
be bad. I would rather have Trump for fucking 30 years than have a Ron DeSantis president. I will not vote for Ron DeSantis.
Ron
That
Chicken,
guy,
here's the
he-
thing.
You better just
he-
get ready for it.
he is a fucking goddamn. I don't want to like throw certain labels out because I don't want to sound like a fucking lefty, but that dude does not give a shit about other people. Like there's the left, like I criticize the left all the time because they want this like democracy, it's democracy, majority rules. Well, the majority has to have like restrictions on other people's rights that are not part of the majority. Ron DeSantis is the antithesis to that, or not even the antithesis. He's the opposite side of that coin. He's going to be the majority rules with the Republican side and the right-leaning folks and not protect the rights of anybody outside of his little fucking window of power. He's just as bad. He will be just as bad, just in the opposite direction. Republicans, you vote Ron DeSantis in, you will set yourself back 30 fucking years and you will not win another election for a fucking two decades.
Chicken. So you're saying if Ron DeSantis, let me get this straight. If Ron DeSantis gets elected, he's only going to shore up and help his base of power of Republican voters, is what you're saying?
At the cost of causing more division and more problems. I know. Yeah. Phil's and I bet Tiberius is sitting there going, does that mean Ron DeSantis is going to put tanks in Mexico? Yeah, probably. Like this dude is just bad news all the way around. I can
Now, when
see
it
through
comes
that
to Ron
slimy
DeSantis,
fucking face. He
I get
sounds
your
great.
trepidation. I'm I'm really weary of all the people who
fuck
are
Nikki
supporting
Haley.
him, because like all the we got time. That dude does not care about other people while talking about someone other than Trump. Like, oh my god, that's the thing is Tiberius and I'm just using you.
Trump loves you all. He loves everybody. He's perfect. You're perfect.
He's the greatest president.
You're all amazing.
When it comes to Ron DeSantis versus Donald Trump, I think back, this is a quote, and I forget who it was. It was actually a socialist who wrote this, but it's true and it's brilliant. I would rather vote for what I want and not get it. And the Democrats learned this in 2020, rather than vote for something I don't want and end up getting it. And that's what the Democrats got. They voted for what they didn't want, and they ended up getting it now. And so for me, it's like, okay, a lot of us Republican base, we want Trump. We want to send that bull in the China shop to D.C. because, just to be frank, they deserve it. Okay? Like, they just deserve it. They fucked us over for so many decades, and this system threw us overboard 30 fucking years ago. So now, fuck you. You get Trump. That's the giant middle finger we send.
I do like the Mike Lindell 2024, My Pillow 2.0.
Yes, My Pillow. It's going to be the greatest.
I think right now, as it sits, that all the call to action to get DeSantis on the ticket, it's rose-colored glasses, because half of the people that want him just want Biden out. They're staunch Republicans anyway,
or they just want anybody but Trump.
That are disappointed about the way that things shook out with Trump, but they're not ready to jump back on the bandwagon yet anyway. Or they're falling privy to he's going to be as old as Biden eventually too. So do we really want that? Or do we want a young up and comer of the Republican Party? So I
Ron
think
DeSantis,
once it starts, if he does announce, I think a lot of that shine is going to fade off a little bit. He still easily beats Biden if it ends up being Biden. But that was kind of my point earlier. There are so many people that can beat Biden. I don't think there's a lot of people that could beat Trump right now from the Democrats. Like, very, very small pool. Like, Michelle Obama, that's about
Biden
it.
and Michelle. You're right.
My fear with Ron DeSantis, he's like a Josh Hawley but presents better. Is like, here's what Josh Hawley does. Josh Hawley's like, hey, I'm going to present this bill that makes it sound really, really good in the title, that we're going to stop kids from being spied on. But in that bill, literally is legislation saying the government can spy on your kids, just not third parties or big tech. Like, Josh Hawley's terrible with his actual bills. He'll make it sound really, really good. But then what he really wants to do is just as bad, if not worse. Ron DeSantis will be like, hey, we're going to end ESG. And we're like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, we're all down with that. Get rid of ESG. That shit's stupid. Like, we don't need ESG. But then somewhere in the bill will be like, if you are of this particular identity or group of people, and we find out that you do anything within your organization that goes against or that follows any ESG type of following, we're going to give you 50 lashes. Like, that's what I feel like is going to happen, and nobody's going to see it coming. I don't trust the fucking dude. Have you guys seen Hershey bar? Oh god, yeah, the Hershey bar. We talked about it a little bit last week. Oh my god, that was such a fucking terrible video. I want someone that doesn't want the job. Yeah, good luck with that, dude. The only people that run for that job are narcissists. I want being elected to be in office ever to be
not
seen,
me
like,
thougly different.
Yeah, totally. Vote KOE 2024.
Yeah.
Chicken speaking facts. Never thought I would see the day.
Wow. Son of a bitch.
I knew I would win Tiberius over someday.
Tony, do you want me to have Brickway or Snoop Dogg gin?
What'd you have last time?
So you all
Brickway.
think DeSantis goes and
Snoop
turns the
then.
military industrial complex times 3 trillion over 4 years to get elected? You think so? Trump didn't do that. A lot of reason why he wasn't reelected. Yeah. And that sums up a lot of my argument. Grow the Farm Up is, I think Ron DeSantis is just like, he's doing this like hyperbole or this like talk right now of like, I'm a new age Republican and the old Republicans aren't going to be able to live up to this, and I'm going to take Republican Party in the next generation. I'm like, nah, like everything you're doing, like, it's just a perfect time. It's just a perfect time.
Chicken. That's exactly what Bill Clinton said in his primaries. I'm a new Democrat. We're going to take Democrats to a new level. We're going to go to a new kind of party. The old party that's in the past. We're not going to talk
And then
about
like
Dixiecrats.
45 people have been killed or murdered or suicided in the last 50 years since then.
Oh, yeah. We're not going to talk about all those people that were suicided. Clinton side. So
2 shots to the back of the head. Totally hung myself.
Here's a shot to all them poor Clinton victims.
Deficit.
Allegedly.
God damn it. It's like I wanted to laugh, but then what was in my mouth hit my taste buds, and I was like, this is no laughing matter.
I don't have any fancy words for you tonight. Fuck you, Justin. God damn you.
Son of a biscuit.
Yeah,
Oh, good. Ooh, why does it taste worse tonight?
Because it's always going to taste worse.
I
think there's a good chance that if DeSantis does end up,
I think this is my last
White
bottle.
House.
This is almost gone.
I think if
we'll
DeSantis
we'll get you a
back
handle. Don't worry.
into if he gets into the White House, there's a good chance he sets the Republicans back quite a bit, and that's not. I'm not saying it's guarantee, but I think that,
here's the only way.
New age Republican, no.
I'll vote for DeSantis if he promises the Lindsey Grahams of the world are gone. We get rid of the Mitch McConnells of the world. We move on from the.
No, you're just going to replace them with fresh faces in the same role, and they're the same person, and then you have to endure them for another 40 fucking years.
I know, but it'll be so
he makes
nice
an
to
interesting
move on.
point. Like at the end of this decade, all the people that run American politics, Mitch McConnell, fucking Lindsey Graham,
Nancy
Pelosi, Schumer. All of them are going to be
you
gone.
Got that shot in 1 minute before the top of the hour, too, you prick.
Yep.
But yeah, they're all going to be gone by the end of this decade.
Yeah.
So we are going to have a very different party at the end of the decade. And DeSantis does set up some interesting leadership.
That's what I mean, though. Like, a lot of people are going to be jockeying for position, not just for the presidency, because really that's an afterthought. We're talking about the long game. You want to get into a place of power like a Nancy Pelosi. Fuck that. A goddamn Chuck Schumer. Jesus Christ. That's what I'm saying. Ron DeSantis, fuck, maybe he just skips the White House altogether and just latches on to one of those forever positions that, oh, no, sure, yeah, no, I'm totally not involved right now, says Nancy Pelosi.
A guy like Ron, he's wanted to be president since he was 8 years old, trust me. Like, I know a politician from here in Nebraska. He's nephew of somebody that used to work for us many, many generations ago. And that guy wanted to be president since he was 8 years old. And that's just the way these people are built. And so Ron, this is what he wants. Now, here's the problem, though, guys. Like,
yeah, when he was 8 years old, he thought the presidency actually had power.
We're
proving today that it doesn't.
Yeah, Tony, we
Apparently
found
you're
out
Putin's cock holster when you're president.
Well, no, Tony, we found out the Patriots are real eventually when we grew up a little bit, and there's people that the office of the presidency has to look up to. And apparently they're in the military industrial complex, and you don't fuck with our intelligence apparatus. Otherwise, they'll just remove you from office one way or the other. So
there you go.
But I think the Republicans do have some future stars. The Democrats have nobody in terms of future star power. Like, even this is Obama's exact words with Pete Buttigieg. Pete will never be president. He's too short and he's too gay. And like those are his exact words.
He was right.
Like, he's too short, he's too gay. And it's so funny. Obama, like, even though I was born in Hawaii, raised internationally, and spent the majority of my life in Chicago, Illinois, I still speak with a slight Southern accent. All right, T, you got chug. You love it.
Ziggy zaggy, oi oi, fuck.
Oh man, dude, that's not right. Jesus, like liquid should not go that fast.
You okay?
Never better.
Tony's peachy keen. Oh wow. That's
looks like he's in. We better get to the good article real quick. Let's pop up the PolitiFact. Let's get into some January 6th stuff.
Oh, have a holly jolly January 6th. It's the best time
So,
of the year.
This is turned into one of our most fun things to do is find the topic we're going to talk about, find the fact check on it, and read that fact check and see how accurate that fact check is. This is great.
The fact checkers, like, let's be frank, they're kind of like pollsters where they're just another political weapon.
Yeah. Keep going, Justin. Let's get down to the first fact check. We all know what happened. Tucker Carlson got all the footage, and so he started airing it. So, first claim, the protesters believe that the election they had just voted in had been unfairly conducted, and they were right, says the fact check. In retrospect, it is clear the 2020 election was a grave betrayal of American democracy. This is a quote from Tucker Carlson. Calm down, YouTube. Don't strike us.
I'm going to give the weird Tucker Carlson face into the camera.
Yeah. Let's scroll back up because I want you to really pay attention to some of the words here. Unfairly conducted and grave betrayal. So grave betrayal, that's subjective, right? That's beautiful, a feeling writing. That's... Yeah, like it's really good, it's persuasive, it's good writing, like you said. But unfairly conducted, that's I don't know if that's subjective. Like, depending on where you live in this country, that's an objective claim.
Well, unfortunately, this is something I've had some back and forth with Ty on. This is fair is a word that, like, unless you're talking about like gambling or fighting or something, fair is a word that we invented so that idiots and children can participate in debates.
Fair enough.
There is no fair. You can't fill up a bucket of fair. But idiots and children can be like, that's not fair. And also people who don't have power will use the word fair to try and get power. And actually, this particular usage in both instances holds up because it holds up to both of my how I define it in both ways. So yeah, to me, like, that's chicken. I don't think it's fair me taking a gin shot. I don't think it's fair that you don't let me talk for the whole show. I don't think it's fair that we have to breathe oxygen.
These are all facts from Phil, honestly.
I don't think it's fair that we have to breathe oxygen instead of nitrogen, which would be a lot more efficient on our internal systems. Like, I don't think it's fair. Like, yeah, there is no fair. You can shit in one hand and say fair in the other and see which one fills up first.
All right, let's get into disputing this claim. Again, let's scroll back up just so I can remind the audience real quick what we're looking at. Unfairly conducted, and then the betrayal of democracy. All right, they say this is pants on fire. Former President Donald Trump lost the 2020 presidential election to Joe Biden. Biden won with 306 electoral votes to Trump's 232. Biden won the popular vote by 7 million. Allegations of a rigged election have been refuted by audits. Now, do you notice they threw in the rigged elections? Nothing Tucker Carlson said had anything to do with a rigged election, right?
No.
So now
it wasn't fair. Who the fuck knows what that means?
Yeah. So like they set their goalposts wherever the fuck they wanted. So I love these fact checks. Allegations of a rigged election have been refuted by audits, judges, federal agencies, state elections officials, and technology experts. That could be 10 people. It could be 2,000 people. I don't know. As well as officials and advisors in Trump's administration. Again, that could be 10 people or 2,000 people. So yeah, like this is like one of the most disingenuous fact checks. Now, I'm not saying that anything happened in the 2020 election. The laws were put in place to put it, pretty one-sided. So to be fair, the next one is claim these were not insurrectionists, they were sightseers. Again, this is a cut short. This is a really cut short quote because there was a lot more said there.
Now, come on, we were just going like I'm sorry. Folks were going in, they were just sightseeing, they were taking unguided tours, chicken. Now,
to be fair, a few of them were just sightseers.
Yes, and also to be fair, in the instance of the Buffalo Hat guy, he actually had a very guided tour.
Yeah, we'll get to that one. We'll get to that one later. This is another pants on fire claims, according to PolitiFact. Rioters attacked police, smashed windows, broke doors, and ransacked offices. Again, he actually did bring that up. They chanted "Hang Mike Pence" and caused the House and Senate to shut down for several hours. This is all true, yeah, but that's not what he was claiming. The video footage Carlson aired showed only parts of the events at the Capitol that day. Well, like that one blew my mind because I'm like, here you go.
All of it.
The program conveniently cherry-picked from the calmer moments of 41,000 hours of video versus what you did for 2 years.
Wait.
I was about to say the Democratic Party actually hired a television producer to try and make it look as dramatic
Bad as possible.
Go
Didn't
back
the
up.
dude work for
back
Disney?
up.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's go back up for a second. It says the video footage Carlson aired showed only parts of the events at the Capitol that day. And the next paragraph literally
41,000.
says the program conveniently cherry-picked from the 41,000 hours of video. How long does he get on TV a night? Like half an hour?
An hour?
Okay.
Yeah.
But we were supposed to cram 41,000 hours.
How dare you, Tucker? You son of a bitch. I want 41,000 hours now.
Right now
Download that
in
shit
1
like I'm
hour.
in the Matrix, bitch.
I was about to say, and I want it all uploaded to my brain immediately.
Yes,
So,
break the screen down into 41,000 squares so we
Kinda
can
like-
watch all of
This
it.
is the same thing that they levy against like Project Veritas. It's like, well, I mean, sure, they talk about some really ghastly, gory stuff, but they said other things in the hour and a half too.
Be like, everybody watch this very edited and truncated version of a conversation I had with somebody I don't like, while I tell you that they edit their videos to make it look really, really bad on everything they do. Ready? Go. What?
But this is essentially saying it's not fair that they're only showing the parts.
Well, it's not fair
we
that you
haven't
use the
been
same
showing.
tactics that I've been
That's what I'm
using.
saying.
I invented that tactic, Tony. You can't use it against
That's
me.
what I'm saying.
I had
They're
dibs,
mad.
motherfucker. Do you not respect dibs?
They're
I had a
mad
nickel for every time the
because
left
we've
decided
already
to say that.
seen. We've already seen for 2 years all of the really bad shit that happened. We've been everybody's been blowing up all the bad clips, all the horrible stuff. All
I'm
the
sorry, Tony.
hangpens and
You
and
don't
the
respect
smashing
dibs.
windows
You're a
and the
fucking
shots
heathen.
and this and that. But now they're mad because they're showing the not bad stuff.
No, I'm mad that you don't respect dibs.
I'm mad that you don't respect these nuts.
Oh,
All right, here's thanks, Trey. To be fair,
LTD's nuts.
rocket! Ouch!
I bet a snot bubble in the middle of that.
Ah, that hurt me.
Oh.
So, like, that to me, this kind of feels like I remember during 2020 some of the riots that were going on then. Like, I remember
Peaceful protest, Phil.
I was in a chat room
Phil,
that, like,
peaceful.
there was a guy that was just being like really kind of
Fire.
smart. It's like, no, these protesters, they're just doing early Christmas shopping. That's all they're doing. And it's just like, and they're like, okay, I see. And so, like, when Tucker Carlson goes,
What do you
they're
got?
just
Ascot
psyched.
Visa? American
They're just
Express?
psyched.
I got a
No,
break.
like, I'm gonna be honest with you. We all remember the picture of the little grandma holding the American flag in there.
Yep.
And I think she's actually got some legal trouble, doesn't she?
She's in solitary confinement as far as last I read.
Yeah, that's
Serves a bitch
fucked up.
right.
Like at this
serves
point,
that bitch right.
Jesus. Like, there are some people that did wrong that day, and the people who were violent need to be under the jail. That little old lady who just kind of waved the flag and was just a little old lady. If you think she needs to be in solitary confinement for all this time, you're probably part of the problem.
You're probably
I
a
like
piece
to
of
believe
shit.
I like to believe when they went to arrest her, she like went all crazy like MAGA Hulkster fucking style and just started losing her fucking mind, screaming at everybody and like, fuck you, fuck the government, yeah. Like she went all like, yeah, she went nuts. Oh, we got more facts to go through.
I
here.
hope that's true.
That'd be great. Okay, claim Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell refused repeated requests by Capitol Police Chief for backup for National Guard. So this is according to the New York Post reporter. So this has
we
nothing to do with
confirmed
Tucker
that.
Carlson. That's my fucking favorite part. This is not Tucker Carlson saying this. They make this whole thing about Tucker, and then they throw in this other thing of like, oh yeah, by the way, the New York Post made a claim too. But anyway,
now look how carefully worded this first paragraph is.
Yes.
Like this is like lawyer, like there's no evidence of this positive specific thing happening. It's like, okay. But yeah, like Nancy can't place a phone call.
Yeah, previous claims have said Trump authorized 10,000, 20,000 National Guard troops, the number depending on the claimant, to protect Capitol, and that Pelosi rejected it. But we found no record of any such authorization being made. Well, maybe it's just not public because everything's fucking classified from January 6th on the back end.
You make
fucking
a phone
retards.
call and not a text or an email.
Yes.
Yes,
facts. Did somebody say facts? Yes.
I got a feeling we're going to get one from Brandon here soon.
Let's keep on going down on this one. This one's just, this one was dumb. It had nothing to do with him. And like, to your point, here we go. We all watched the video. We all just watched it. Capitol police officers helped. So I love how they put that in quotations because I don't think they were helping him. I don't think that's the appropriate word to use, but they, take a quotation out of context wherever they can. Capitol police officers helped QAnon shaman Jacob Chansley and acted as his tour guides.
They didn't help him.
He said that like in jest, like to be a dick, and they're going to take him out of context on this one too.
The word is chaperoned. Okay,
it's kind of like when Trump would say, "Oh, isn't it a good morning?" And there was a little bit of a cloud in the sky, and then they'd say, "Fact checked. Add that to one of Trump's 4,000 lies." Like,
to be fair, if you're amidst a giant like breaching of a government building where an angry mob has entered the establishment,
happens all the time,
and you're the police, who are supposed to like stop stuff like that or like try to keep the situation under control. Wouldn't you probably like pinpoint the one guy that looks like a lot of trouble? I don't know, maybe I'm off my rocker here, but that might be the guy that's wearing a buffalo skin and horns and got war paint on and kind of looks like he's ready to fuck shit up. I'm just saying maybe there's a reason they were stuck to him like glue. I don't know. That's just me.
I would have assumed he was
Are you
high on
saying
mushrooms.
that you were profiling him, Tony?
Yes.
Racist.
1,000% yes.
Like, I'm going to be honest, if I would have seen him at that protest or anything ever, I am going to assume, okay, this guy is on more mushrooms than are in this whole half of the state right now. Like, this guy is just like, he's seeing the face of God right now. So, yeah, like, that's what I'm going to assume if I see a guy dressed like that.
So the fact check goes like similar claims. We rated this pants on fire, of course. Chansley, among the first rioters to force their way into the building.
You're gonna believe PolitiFact or your own eyes,
right?
Yeah.
So we watched the video of him coming through. He wasn't forcing anything through. He was like the fucking 30th person to come through. They opened the door and he like all of a sudden stumbles in, looking around, going, "Fuck yeah, I made it in." Anyway, officers repeatedly asked Chansley to leave the building. This is corroborated by the plea agreement Chansley signed. So just because he signed a plea agreement doesn't mean any of that actually happened. But whatever.
I was about to say, there's
no,
plenty
it's
of people.
It's on a document now. So that
they had him in solitary confinement, and this guy has a history of mental illness.
They would get that guy to sign that he started the Chicago fucking fire if it would get him a slightly bit more of fucking human contact.
2023. Whatever somebody claims, regardless of whether they were pressured or not, it's true now.
It is. So Manger, I don't know who this is, called Carlson's claim outrageous and false and said officers used de-escalation tactics to try and talk rioters into getting each other to leave the Capitol. So opening the doors to the Senate chambers, taking him to the upper Senate chambers where everybody had just earlier escaped.
Yeah.
They walked him to those doors. That's the one where you see him like walk to the door and it's locked and they all turn around. The doors. Did you see that? The door was blurry in that video.
Yeah.
And then you watch a different video that they played on the fucking House floor. I believe it was Mr. Swalwell, China Lover, played a video He played a video of all the senators walking out of that same fucking room platform and that same door. Like, and they're like, we have to blur certain images because we don't want people to know what these are. But like, dude, we know. Like, there's another video of that same fucking room. You fuck. Like, it's so silly. The whole thing. Anyway, we'll move on. I don't want to get on a rant about a really fucking camera angle. This is great. The video shows the media lied about Brian Sicknick's manner of death. Anybody want to read this one while I pull up the story that's still on New York Times?
This is misleading. Sicknick, a 42-year-old Capitol police officer, died the day after the January 6th assault. Initial news reports citing law enforcement sources said he had been struck on the head with a fire extinguisher. Follow-up coverage challenged that, saying he had been sprayed with a form of mace and that the cause of death remained unclear.
Here we go. You guys ready? I'm going to share my screen real quick. Sorry, Yank. So when I look up New York Times, Capitol police officer dies from injuries in pro-Trump rampage.
What?
So that wasn't hard. I'm sorry, PolitiFact. That was not like, is that headline not just fucking tell you that this cop died? To likely lead to calls for profound changes, Capitol, blah, blah, blah. Capitol police officer dies from injuries in pro-Trump rampage.
Pro-Trump rampage.
I'm like, come the fuck on. It's right here, guys. It's the gray lady herself has yet to fucking retract this article.
So what is PolitiFact claiming not to be true again? Checking. Maybe just read.
Because I don't. This is the most ludicrous shit I've ever heard.
The misleading Sicknick, 42-year-old Capitol, died the day after January 6th assault. Yeah. Initial news reports citing law enforcement sources said he had been struck in the head with a fire extinguisher. Follow-up coverage challenged that, says he had been sprayed with a form of mace, and that the cause of death remained unclear. No, the cause of death is not unclear, and they continue on. April 19th, the medical examiner determined that Sicknick died from 2 strokes at the base of his brain caused by a blood clot, and that there were no signs of injury or evidence that Sicknick had an allergic reaction to irritants, and that Sicknick died of natural causes. But then Diaz also noted that Sicknick was among the officers who engaged in the mob and said all that transpired played a role in his condition. Maybe. That, like, again, you can't prove that.
Yeah, there's no way to know that.
And Carlson's attempt to vilify the media also, and that's what this is really about, is he vilified the media. So the media's got to be like, oh, how dare you? In Carlson's attempt to vilify the media, he also used video to support his argument that the riot wasn't that violent and to undermine the details of Sicknick's death. Carlson pointed out to surveillance footage that showed Sicknick walking around inside the Capitol after being confronted by the mob, appearing healthy and vigorous. Carlson claimed that whatever happened to Sicknick was very obviously not the result of the violence he suffered at the entrance of the Capitol. But the footage doesn't mean Sicknick wasn't assaulted, nor does it disprove the medical examiner's conclusions. 1, nobody ever claimed he wasn't assaulted. 2, nobody disputed the medical examiner's conclusions. The conclusions are subjective because there's no way to know if anything caused anything other than that. What Tucker Carlson was pointing out is that the video they tried to show of the fire extinguisher and then the New York Times article and all the shit they were trying to say of when he died, after he died, he's inside the rotunda walking around, picking up signs and cleaning shit up. Right. That's what he was trying to show. And that he texts his brother later that day saying he's fine, everything's fine. He made it home safe later that day. That's all he was trying to say. And they make this fake ass goddamn fact check.
God almighty. So let's move on to the next one, because
is this not a problem? Like,
no, that's just fucking ridiculous.
Why
are we splitting hairs? Like, I don't understand why we feel the need to,
because look at the political hay they can make from splitting those hairs.
I get it, but Jesus,
this is now, Tony. This is gonna be hard.
Who are you arguing with at this point? It's all right there. It's crystal fucking clear.
Well, no, like this is gonna be hard for you to believe, T. But like,
oh yeah,
there are a few people throughout my family bloodline that are pretty good at making a mountain out of a molehill.
Whoa.
I
Nobody
know,
has anybody like that in their family, Phil.
I know life doesn't make sense hearing that. But like when I hear some of these complaints about January 6th, I do kind of get that, like, they're trying so hard to make this like it's a tragedy that this person died, but there really is a question as to what actually caused this person's death. And to try and make it try to basically change this person's death into something to score political points, I find very craven. And it's been done for 2 years now.
Tony, do you mind taking over reading this? I got to take a piss.
Yep.
I'll be right back.
You just have to hold it.
All right.
Thanks, Phil. See, this is why I don't want to vote for Ron DeSantis, because that's the type of treatment I'll get.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. Authoritarian. Claim, I remember asking reporters at the time, why do you keep calling these people armed insurrectionists when there's no evidence that anybody used any arms against it? And they said, well, they had flagpoles. So it's because people were walking around with American flags that made them armed insurrectionists. That's Charles Hurt, Washington Times, making that claim. PolitiFact says there were multiple rioters armed on January 6th, and we've rated claims stating otherwise false. Court documents, video evidence, and news coverage directly contradict this characterization and show that several rioters on the Capitol grounds had firearms, and dozens more wielded knives, bats, and other real makeshift weapons, including flagpoles, fire extinguishers, skateboards, and chemical sprays.
So I'm sorry, what's the evidence that anybody had a gun there? Like, I'm sorry, if there was actual evidence, we would have all seen the picture, and it would be the only thing that anybody would ever talk about.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, because I don't remember seeing any video.
I remember one guy had zip ties, and that was like that was all we heard about for weeks. Was the zip tie guy? All right, we got another claim here.
If there was video of somebody that breached the Capitol with a firearm, that would have been all we would have seen. That would have been the thumbnail. That would have been the headline. That would have been the little picture behind Trevor Noah's stupid fucking head. Like, that's all we would have been talking about. That an armed insurrectionist, MAGA tard, broke into the Capitol with a firearm. And that didn't happen. So I don't really care. I'm sure somebody did have a concealed carry. Probably. More than one. But you know who else did have firearms and used them that day? People that shot the supposed insurrectionists, the only actual casualties. But I digress. Yep. Claim. Under public pressure, the January 6th committee finally interviewed Ray Epps. Epps told the committee that he never entered the Capitol and therefore never committed a crime. His text messages show that at 2:12 p.m. he boasted to his nephew that he had orchestrated the protests at the Capitol. He admitted he helped get people there. That's the claim. PolitiFact says, we rated a similar claim about Epps admitting to orchestrating the Capitol protest. Mostly false. Mostly, so not entirely. So by PolitiFact standards, mostly false basically equals fucking true. Because
like, I was about to say, that's PolitiFact saying it's like, he's a Fetty Fed McFed from Fetty Stan. He's Fetty McFed face.
Epps, an Arizona man who supported Trump and was baselessly accused of instigating the insurrection as an FBI informant, told the January 6th House Select Committee in an interview that he walked to the Capitol and told others to do the same. Well, so did Trump, but I digress. Epps
peacefully make your voice heard.
Epps texted his nephew at 2:12 p.m. on January 6th and said, I was in the front with a few others. I also orchestrated it.
We know, Ray.
He said that. So there you go, in a text. But when questioned about it in testimony to the committee, Epps said he wrote it out of pride. Oh, so that completely makes it null and void. Right? That's how that works. It was the wrong word choice in retrospect. He did not confess to Congress that he orchestrated the attack, except he kind of did.
I mean, like, to me, like,
usually text messages are like a smoking gun in a trial case, aren't they?
Well, it's sort of like, a few good men. It's like Tom Cruise, did you order the men to do this? Jack Nicholson, you're damn right I did. Wait, is that a problem? That I just confessed to murder in a courtroom? Why is everybody giving me a hard time? I'm going back to my base. The judge's like,
No, you can't.
no,
do that.
that's not how that works. Why? Because you just sort of confessed to murder in a courtroom.
Yeah. So
Shit.
I,
But apparently that's not how that works if you're actually connected enough. Apparently the way that scene should have ended was Jack Nicholson go, I'm going back to my base. And the judge goes, oh, okay. And Tom Cruise goes, the fuck, Your Honor? The fuck? And he goes, sorry, he's in the Illuminati Club, kid. You're not in it. That's how that movie apparently should have ended, because that's what's happening with Ray Ep here, allegedly.
to think, I'm sorry. I know
Brandon
it
Corbett.
sounds like a grand conspiracy theory when people who have questions over the election and the results say things like Ray Epps and people from the intelligence community were there, and they pushed those people into doing it. They helped people get in. They wanted people to get in. It was they basically just made those people a patsy. I know it sounds like a conspiracy theory, but if you're going to sit there and pretend like you don't know that the intelligence agencies, the alphabet letter groups, don't willfully orchestrate things to happen, you're just being willfully fucking ignorant. Like, we know these things to be true, that the FBI and the CIA do these things, and they get away with it because they're good at doing these things. So if you're going to completely shut down and not hear any of that talk just based off of your own pride and the fact that you just don't want it to be true because it hurts your narrative, just fucking stop.
Chicken.
Just stop. And now you can look at this and say, this guy
Sorry, buddy.
literally said on text message, yeah, I did that. Well, no, but I just said it out of pride.
Oh,
Oh,
geez.
no, that's totally okay.
Yeah, fuck you. Like, okay,
That's totally
Roger.
okay. Understand.
Roger
You're
Stone
free
went
to
to-
go, sir. You're
Jesus,
free to go.
okay. I need to pour more. But Roger Stone went to prison for being a bullshitter. And this guy can actually say, I orchestrated. Because, like, guys, I don't know if you ever played the campaign for Grand Theft Auto 5, but there's
Yep.
this great scene where the feds, or the FIBs, the fibs, they say to Michael, it's like, you know what? Nothing increases your budget for fighting terrorism quite like successful acts of terrorism. And so they made Michael and Trevor do a terrorism.
Made him
Okay.
do
Jeremy.
terrorism.
Did I just do a terrorism?
Am I a terrorist?
Hence the
now?
conversation about Mexico earlier.
Okay, now. Oh, God, that's a double.
Got your double shot in there. All right.
Oh, to Jen, I take it with chagrin.
You love it.
That took 3 fucking big old gulps.
Dude, I got heartburn from that fucking those last fucking LTD ones. God damn.
Well, it's so yummy. LCD's nuts.
Yeah. Ugh.
God almighty, why? Why? So, that happened. What were we fucking talking about?
I don't know. Should we move on to the next?
Let's.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
God.
Justin, let's get our next story up. God, a reminder to the folks also, for those of you on Facebook, if you want to be a paid subscriber, you can give us a shot on the hour, each hour, or anytime in between. Working on getting stars back. Facebook changed their policy a little bit, but I think I can still get it for us under the gaming thing only, because I'm still
Nice.
Yeah, what
enrolled
the
in that.
fuck, Facebook?
No, I'm still, yeah. Well,
Facebook
what they're
changes
doing,
their rules every 3 weeks.
they're trying to make it like Twitch, to make a partner program is what they're trying to do.
Well, that is horseshit.
But I think I'm still grandfathered in on the gaming thing, and I have not broken any rules on Facebook, so I'm pretty sure I can still get in that.
Now,
way.
before we transition to the next story, I just want to say I'll never forget. I tuned in one time to a fairly big Twitch streamer, and they were going over like what Twitch sends them, which Twitch is owned by Amazon, by the way. And what's pretty funny is Twitch. Okay, if you donate $1 to your favorite Twitch streamer, 50 cents of it goes to your Twitch streamer. 50 cents of it goes to Twitch. And Twitch said, like, I'm just like, even I'm like, wow, this is corporate doublespeak at its best. It says, show us doing the profit splitting program. We believe that shows you, the creator, that we're in this together. And I'm just like, wow, fuck you, but amazing. Like, that's amazing.
That's something Phil would have said.
Like, that's what? Okay, maybe.
Corvix says the Eisenhower interstate system requires that 1 mile in every 5 must be straight. These straight sections are usable as airstrips in times of war or other emergencies. Another piece to tag along with that. Usually, depending on the state you're in, you will actually see an airplane sign. A really small airplane sign when you hit those stretches of that highway where it's safe to land a plane, and they make it big enough to land a 747.
Yeah, it sounds like the Eisenhower interstate system is homophobic.
What?
Well, he said every 1 mile in every 5 must be straight. Like, who are we to dictate? Who are we to dictate?
You got to be 20% straight at all times.
I'm just saying, we shouldn't force belief.
They're not down with roads that are born this way. Okay.
Christ. Yeah.
Well done, T. Well done.
Oh yeah, that was good.
I'm just all about inclusion over here, guys.
ESG man, right there.
Where's my rainbow go? I want my rainbow back.
You want the rainbow back?
Yeah.
Hold on.
There it is.
This way. Yeah. Oh my God.
Justin's on it. Justin's got this.
Tony. No, Tony.
What?
No. You have been distracted.
It'll never happens. All right. Next story. Let's get it pulled up here. There it is. So Proud Boys attorney. So let's talk about like the outcome of Tucker's January 6th footage that's coming out. Proud Boys attorney finds hidden FBI messages during the January 6th trial. This has been conflated a few different ways, that they were caught lying on the stand, all kinds of different things.
What? Not an honorable FBI agent. I don't believe you.
I know, right? An attorney for Proud Boys member Ethan recently filed a motion alleging that he found hidden messages exchanged between FBI agents in the ongoing sedition trial stemming from the January 6th riot at the Capitol. In the court documents filed Wednesday night, his attorney said that the following cross-examination of government witness Special Agent Nicole Miller, she was required to turn over any written statements related to her testimony under the Jenks Act. Miller produced her messages. She had them in an Excel worksheet, but in quote, a close examination of the agent's sheet revealed over 1,000 hidden Excel rows of messages, the court document said. So I believe, if we scroll down, I believe she only showed 25 rows. Just a little bit up there, Justin.
SpaghettiOs.
I'm totally lost.
Evidence from judges.
There. The document filing comes amid ongoing sedition trial involving Proud Boys member, all these guys, of course, through the election. They were all through there. Any of you guys ever play with Excel? I'm kind of an Excel nerd. I do a lot of things on Excel every day.
I run a couple of programs on Excel. Yeah, it's amazing program.
You literally just like click on the right button on what you want to hide, and you click hide, and it goes away. So like, there's I excel in bed. nice. But like to me, this is like one of the dumbest fucking stories about January 6th. However, it's even dumber that the FBI thought they were going to get away with this. So basically, this chick, we can pull a story down, I guess, but this chick was supposed to show her messages on this program and provide them to the court. So she downloaded them all, put them on an Excel thing, and then anything she didn't say, she just clicked the row and hit hide. And so she hit over 1,000 lines of conversation and only showed her 25 lines. Well, so they print it off and hand that print off to the defendant. And when the defendant's like, no, we want the actual Excel file. Like, we don't want to print off. We want the actual file. They're like, oh, okay. Like, so the prosecutor, not knowing that that's what was going on, hands it over and gives them the actual file. And they go, highlight all, right click, unhide. And they get to see this 1,000-line thread of classified conversations that they were having at the FBI. But like they're using this as like they were hiding evidence from us and trying to use us as a technicality to get off. So like one FBI, fucking come on, like delete the row, you dipshit. Like why are you hiding it? Delete the fucking row.
That's just
but that's another claim that they're making, that people were deleting it. If they hit it, if they actually did the hide button, like you can unhide it, like it comes back. Yeah. But this is like one of the dumbest fucking stories ever. I'm like, one,
that's awesome.
You don't have to be good at Excel to know that you can hide rows or columns. Like this is pretty basic shit, man.
It's just another epic failure. And that's the thing. Like
it's ESG at work, man.
You look at this and you're like, why was this just a spectacular fail on so many people's parts? Like this top to bottom, since it happened for the last 2 years, this has been just a failure at every fucking level in terms of handling the situation that day, the people themselves going in, the fucking people encouraging them to do so, who may or may not totally were feds, the response to it, the media's handling of it, trying to say, hey, look at all this horrible shit. And then now with all the mild stuff coming out there, yeah, it's not fair that you're going to show a lot of the mild footage. That's just not, everything has been such a failure.
Don't show your cut footage, only show my cut footage.
It's just
your true colors are shining through.
Hey, my name's Ray Epps. I orchestrated this whole thing. He totally didn't orchestrate anything.
Your true Fed colors. That's why the deep state loves you.
Is that why Tony still got a rainbow?
So don't be afraid
to
let
rainbow.
Your Ray Epps show. Your true Fed colors are. Fuck you. I didn't want to say beautiful there. I couldn't.
Gave Tony a better rainbow. Anyway, so yeah, it's fucking silly. So now some Proud Boys, I don't know. We don't know anything about the Proud Boys. You'll never actually know if they were decent people or not, because Tony,
we'll never know if they were ever even real or not at this point.
Yeah,
because every lefty I talk to seems to have talked to some Proud Boy, but Tony,
I've yet to ever see one.
Yeah, like we're on the right, we've never met one, and every lefty I've ever talked to is like, oh yeah, I talked to a Proud Boy at this point. Like it's like, did you really? Did you really? I kind of feel like it's like the guys in the 80s and the 90s who were really into karate, and they talked about how, yeah, I went to a mountaintop and fought a grandmaster. Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I believe that. I believe that, buddy.
We all have that story.
Yeah,
no, I did it twice.
Only twice? Like
once
I did
on
it
the North Pole, once on the South Pole. Yep.
Oh, okay. So you had to do an environment fight. I'll give you that, because I've beaten like 18 grandmasters.
No, I'm just bipolar. Yeah.
Well done. That's well done. Tony's the bipolar grandmaster. He went to both poles and dominated. So I got to give you credit there, too.
There used to be, you know, that movie coming out, Cocaine Bear. Ironically, there was a bear. It was a white bear, and it used to battle like super highs of depression, but also it was very manic too. It was a bipolar polar bear.
And a week later, it changed his pronouns.
The bipolar polar bear meets cocaine bear. Adderall bear versus Adderall polar bear versus cocaine bear. Make it happen, Hollywood.
You got to have a meth bear in there too.
Ooh,
man.
nice.
You need one that's just
Cocaine
always
Bear.
moving their jaw, like.
Yeah, forget about Godzilla versus Kong. I want to see Cocaine Bear versus Sharknado versus Snakes on a Plane.
I hate to say it, if they did a Cocaine Bear versus pretty much anything, I'm down.
It doesn't matter because Saudi Arabia will pay a bunch of money and Goldberg will come in and spear and jackhammer them all.
Yeah. Now, like, what's great about Cocaine Bear is it's also the same thing that's great about Godzilla versus Kong is sometimes you get to just sit down and watch a show.
Yeah.
Like the writer's not trying to fix you. They're not trying to preach to you. They're not trying to fix the audience or anything. You just get to sit down and watch a show. And that's why like Avengers did so amazingly well, because they let you just sit and watch a show for a few hours. And like, so when you're wondering why are the movies not doing good, because A, it's not affordable to go out to the movie theaters. B, the content is all getting a little too preachy and trying to fix the audience, and nobody likes that. I'm not paying $5 for somebody to preach to me.
No.
Well, everybody else does though. Ugh.
I was
You
about
come
to say,
here to the Dog and Chicken Show to have Phil KOE preach at you.
Yeah.
well, no,
Yeah.
I don't
There's no
preach,
preaching
Tony.
here. Come on, we don't preach.
I just
anything at
tell
all.
you what you
We're
need to
free
do,
preach here.
and you make the necessary adjustments. Totally different.
Yeah.
I just shit on a couple of people in the chat once in a while. Like that's all I do.
Fucking
Once in
every
a great
week.
while. Chicken, we had to limit you to one ban per, like one
Yes,
person.
yes.
You get one.
Hey,
Otherwise-
the one ban we have right now is well deserved, though.
Yep. And
But again, I say I really wish he wasn't the last few weeks, because I really think his mind would have fucking exploded if he saw some of the guys.
Nah, he would have just been even more. I don't.
Yeah.
It's been about a year. Should we just like lift all
No.
bans?
God. Let's see how
I
long
think-
it lasts.
I think we lift all bans. We see how it goes. I can always just ban them again.
lift
Like,
all
True.
bans. You mean lift the one, Chicken. You don't need
The
to use
one.
this grandiose language.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like lift the one ban. And there you go. So gentlemen,
we got one last story actually.
ooh, I was about to say we
Right.
saw and conquered January 6th. We saw that,
Time and
Oh,
time.
no,
that
we didn't.
mountain for the molehill it was.
We have not totally conquered yet
Oh,
because
there's
this
still
is
one more
this
hill?
is the coup de
False
grace
Peak.
that came from the January 6th videos. Oop, sorry. Did the QAnon shaman get shafted on sentencing? New footage raises questions over Chansley case. If there is one image from January 6th that will remain why do they use that word? What does that even mean?
Indelibly.
Is it
It's
indelible?
like, yeah, like you'll never be able to unthink it. It's just like it's so incredible and permanent. It's like, yeah, so
Who
it's
do they write the story for if they're using a word like that?
English majors.
Yeah. Anyway, it is the QAnon shaman, bare-chested and wearing an animal headdress, horns, and red, white, and blue face paint. Jake Angeli Chansley is the Capitol riot. To the Capitol riot, what Rosie the Riveter was to World War II. Nice reference there. Howling and chanting on an unintelligible mantra on the Senate floor. He is the embodiment, oh God, of the unhinged rant that led to one of the most disgraceful attacks on our Constitution process in history.
Our
However,
Constitution.
the newly released Fox footage from the day raises serious questions over the prosecution and punishment of Chansley. The videotapes aired on Tucker Carlson this week showed Chansley being escorted by officers through the Capitol. Two officers appear not only to guide him to the floor, but actually appear to be trying to open locked doors for him. At one point, Chansley is shown walking unimpeded through a large number of officers with his 4-foot flag draped spear and horn Viking helmet on his way.
Spear!
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That's a pretty grandiose term for a flagpole.
I like how they have to add that that descriptor, spear-shaped horn, as if most horns are spear-shaped, but just in case you were unaware, this horn specifically was spear-shaped. Like
You know,
most,
Very
sometimes they're
speary.
even though all
sometimes
horns
they're
are.
not sharp. All right.
Like when
When they break.
No, even then they're still pretty
Shut up,
jagged.
Tony.
No,
It was
sorry, that
dangerous
is-
insurrection. They were
that is
all
just a
armed,
fucking
armed
pointless
insurrectionists.
descriptor.
Remember, Tony, don't get off the narrative. They're
That's like
armed
pretending AR
insurrectionists.
stands for assault rifle.
God. Next thing you're gonna be telling me that one dude wasn't a Fed.
Yeah, and I'll be telling you.
Okay,
that,
don't be fucking throwing around conspiracy theories that are going to get us kicked off of Facebook and YouTube like Ray
I am
Epps
sticking
isn't
to
a
the
Fed,
narrative.
okay?
Ray
Like,
Epps
and
is
that's-
totally not a
thing that
Fed.
totally didn't come from like a building that might be called a lab. Probably came from a building that might be called a lab. I don't know.
Yeah, and Tony Fauci is the most honest person to ever come out of government.
Science.
The science.
Science. It is
Trademark.
otherworldly footage. While I admit that I approach these stories from the perspective now, God, I hate it when sorry, this is me again. I really hate it when they like write a news article and then they throw in their like personal feelings about shit. It's a news article. I don't fucking care about your feelings. Like, I want to know what
Facts
you
don't
are
care about your
saying.
feelings.
Yeah, I don't care. It's a news story. Tell me what the fuck happened. Anyway, while I admit that I approach these stories from a perspective of a longstanding criminal defense attorney, I would be outraged if I was unable to see such evidence before a plea or sentencing. True. At no point in the videotapes does Chansley appear violent or threatening. Indeed, he appears to thank the officers for their guidance and assistance. On the Senate floor, Chansley actually gave prayer to thank the officers agreed to allow us into the building. Before addressing the legal implications of this footage, one thing should be clear. The public should have been given access to this footage long ago, and the January 6th committee withheld important evidence on what occurred inside the Capitol that day. While it is understandable that many would object to Carlson being given an exclusive in the initial release, many in the media are denouncing the release of the footage to the public at all. The press and pundits are now opposing greater transparency and resisting any contradiction of the narrative put forward by the January 6th committee. Indeed, MSNBC's Jason Johnson angrily objected that this is a federal evidence, ignoring that the evidence that was being denied to criminal defendants. This is not just material that the public should be able to see. It was a potential evidence in the criminal cases like that of QAnon Shaman. When the footage aired, I wrote a column raising the question of whether the evidence was known to or shared with Chansley's defense. After all, he was portrayed as a violent offender by the Justice Department at his sentencing. It now appears that the answer is no. Spoke with Chansley's new counsel, Bill Shipley, and confirmed that the defense counsel did not have, need to scroll down a little bit, did not have this material. In the hearing, federal prosecutor Kimberly Paschal played the video showing Chansley yelling along with the crowd, insisting that this is not peaceful. That portrayed Chansley to have more difficulty. Anyway, basically, all the footage we just seen completely like turns the narrative of the QAnon Shaman guy into just a dude that was wandering around. And literally every piece of footage that you have, every piece of footage you have of him, he is not being violent.
Yeah.
He got 4 years. 4 fucking years.
So again,
because he dressed up. Because he
People who
fucking
commit
dressed up.
homicides who don't get that
fucking
long.
Profiled. So I'm sorry, but maybe this is a lesson for everybody who might be wanting to involve themselves in a large scale protest or something of the sort that may or may
No.
not turn violent or destruction of property ish. Don't
You can just stop
cosplay.
there. Just don't.
No,
Like,
just don't cosplay. Don't cosplay during it. You
like
know,
I remember after
incognito,
January 6th,
folks. That's the way to go. Don't make
actually-
yourself the fucking poster boy for the
yeah,
fucking
you're not going to be the
hammer to come
hero.
down on top
You're
of
just
you.
going to be sitting in prison for years. Like
You
I
will
even
look
had,
like the whack-a-mole mole.
I
Like
had this
sometimes the
talk.
mole comes up in the whack-a-mole and it's worth 15 points instead of 5. That's the one people are going to whack.
You
Don't be
just
that
became
mole.
the 15-pointer.
Well, yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say I had this talk with my kiddo one time. It's like, yeah, those big political protests, do what you can to avoid them because no good is going to all it's going to do is you're going to sacrifice yourself for somebody else's cause.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're not going to be around for it. Yeah.
No, they're going to let you serve those years. And so that's why, like, those big scale protests, like, don't get me wrong, a lot of good has come from protesting in American history. A lot of good has come. Me personally, though, I got a mortgage and a kid to take care of. I don't know if I'm going to be going out and doing that anytime soon.
Can I just say, like, January 6th is supposed to be the biggest criminal offense that's happened in this country since the War of 1812. Like, this is the biggest fucking thing that we all should be fucking afraid of. And our criminal justice system has just fucking shown how inept it is at the highest levels of our government. That we're more worried about narrative painting and fucking storytelling and news fucking manipulation than we are about that. Like, the people that are like, we need democracy, we need to stop the bigots, we need to stop the fascists. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, we are literally taking a mentally ill man who dressed up in cosplay, who literally did what appears, maybe there's video of him doing something else, but from what we understand, literally did zero harm to people. He walked into some rooms, he said a prayer, he got on bullhorn, maybe he riled some people up. Sure. Is that 4 years in prison? There's like Phil said, there's people, maybe it was Phil or maybe it was Tony, but there's people that fucking commit murder that don't go to jail as long as this fucking guy is going to. He was in solitary confinement with a mental illness. He'll confess to fucking anything to get the fuck out of that goddamn room.
Asset cultivation for
the reason this story, like, and this is why I wanted to end on this story, because this story is actually way more important than anything Tucker Carlson's ever done. Because in the fact that you had Lindsey Graham come out, you had fucking him siding with Chuck Schumer and all the eye patch fuck and all the other assholes throughout the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, all your usual fucking suspects, the goddamn the establishment fucking shills, if you will, all going, Tucker Carlson should not be releasing this information because January 6th was bad. Yeah, it was bad. And Tucker Carlson never fucking said it wasn't bad. This is important. I'm not a huge Tucker Carlson fan, but sometimes fucking somebody like him is necessary. And the fact that they were withholding not only this shit from the evidence in court trials and fucking court proceedings, this getting released to the media, and that the fucking narrative spinners are outraged that we know the truth now, that should fucking tell people something. This is dangerous shit. You don't want another January 6th? Maybe you shouldn't do this. This is what leads to a January 6th. This is what leads to people losing their fucking mind. Stop withholding shit. Stop fucking up your Justice Department. Stop fucking with the First Amendment and fucking trying to spin this narrative. Like, this is so corrupt, criminal, and fucking scary. This is bad on a level, like, to me, like, black pill wise, fuck, man. It went to 10 when I watched that shit. I'm like, holy fuck. We were all led to believe, even me, that dude probably did something bad that day. And Tony, you're like, yeah, look at him. He probably did something bad that day. That's probably a guy I'm gonna keep my eye on. That's a reasonable assumption. That's a reasonable assumption we all have in this country. Now, and unless you're,
or it's just
like,
something that the talking box told us to think.
Yeah. Like, it, to me, this is so fucking dangerous. And everybody that's doing this, Tucker Carlson should not have this, and they need to stop him from showing this. Every one of them off with their heads. Like, this is fucking gross.
In a video game.
In a video game. This is so bad. These people do not care about you. If you were the guy dressed up in a costume, maybe not doing anything bad, or at least you didn't think it was bad, you're dressed up in a costume at the wrong fucking place at the wrong fucking time. That's literally, you could literally break it down to that. Sure, he waved a flag and he, you know, that's not what happened with him, but you literally could have just been dressed up and showed up there and been like, hey guys, what's going on? And then you could have been the face of January 6th, locked in solitary confinement and fucking given 4 years in prison for doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, the fact that they've been in solitary this long is pretty ridiculous. But Chicken, I got to say, for that last rant,
Yeah, bravo.
bravo. But
was
all right.
beautiful.
Well, so gentlemen, we
Feels
came.
like I don't want another gin shot. We got to get out of here.
Yeah, we
Get the
came,
fuck outta
we
here.
saw, we conquered. Is there anything else you'd
Post
like
show
to
link.
say? All right, folks, as I'm known to say around here, all that being said, thank you for joining us here at Big Buckin' Empire, episode 178. Remember the 6 of Pretender, the treasonous plot. I can think of no reason why the congressional treason should ever be forgot. And folks, unfortunately, shout out to Deke Jackson, but like a song that I sang on the day after the election, but I tweaked it just a little bit. January 6th is a lie. And I think you'll find most people know, but they just don't mind. Folks, God bless every last one of you. I hope all of you make it back here to Big Buckin' Empire. Happy, healthy, much the wiser. Folks, you can find me, Phil KOE, at KOE Nation, at YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. Raise a glass to yourselves. God bless every last one of you. Like, share, subscribe, and follow on YouTube and Facebook. Tony, Chicken, take it away.
As always, folks, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you all next week. Appreciate you. Love you. Tony, take it away.
There you go, Trey. Yep, it still stands true. If you were not offended by a fucking entire summer of riots, but one day of people menacing some politicians upset you more, you're a fucking hypocrite piece of dipshit. And yeah, the Buffalo Man Warrior, he was a fucking patsy, and we kind of knew that all along. And now it's been proven. But that's why you come here. That's why you come to the Dog and Chicken Show, to the Big Buckin' Empire, to get the honest, actual commentary about what's happening around us in this shitty world. So I recommend like, sharing, and subscribing to Big Buckin' Empire. Join us next week, right back here at the Dog and Chicken Show for episode 180. Folks, thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week.
And see if it just smooths itself out.
Back, tell you what I'll do. If I ever get back, I promise to refabricate you, raging rivers of gold.